afternoon. My name is Amanda and welcome to the Dunn Creative. Before we get into this pick a card reading, I just wanted to let you guys know I have a live stream channel and a Patreon with lots of exclusive content over there. And if you are interested in booking a personal reading with me, you can always email me at amanda@dunnphotodesign.com. Links for all of that can be found in the description below. But for this pick a card reading, we are going to be getting messages, whispers from your higher self, I think is what I'm going to be calling this, because a lot of times we don't hear these overbearing voices within us, or our intuition doesn't feel real strong. I mean, sometimes it does, but most of the time it's just a subtle or very quiet kind of hum or whisper in the background. So we're really going to tune into those more quiet messages from your higher self. So if you're new to pick a card readings, I just ask that you close your eyes, take a couple of deep cleansing breaths to center your energy, and focus in on pile number 1 with the desert rose, pile number 2 with the lapis lazuli, and pile number 3 with the optical calcite. And once you've selected your pile or piles, you can go ahead and check the description box below for the timestamps, and I also pin them as the top comment. Please remember, these are general readings, so only take the information that resonates with you, your life, and your situation, and just go ahead and leave the rest behind. So without delaying this any further, I'm going to give you a moment to meditate on your cards, and I will see you over at your reading. Alright, group 1, or those of you who selected the desert rose, this is going to be your message, whispers from your higher self. And let's just see what we have here. So we have the Come to Me card, attracting like a rose, receive abundance and desires. So we also have some hummingbird mirror symbolism here. It's like they're mirror images. To me, this is like a very twin flame vibe. But we also have some sort of, what is this, insect? It looks like a honeybee. For a second there, I thought it was like a spider or something, but yeah, it's a honeybee. So this is, going from flower to flower to figure out, where is the pollen, where are the goodies that I am looking for. But this is you also attracting. So you're going out to see these opportunities, but you're also attracting these opportunities to you. Your higher self is whispering of new opportunities, receiving the beautiful gifts or past good karma that you have been waiting for, abundance, your desires coming to fruition. This is very star energy mixed with the 9 of Cups energy, and I'm really, really loving, and also like magician vibes. I'm getting magician vibes from this as well. But let's go ahead and get some additional guidance from your tarot. What your higher self has been whispering to you. Those very subtle messages from your higher self. So we have here the 5 of Wands and the White Newman. So yes, the White Newman is specific to the White Newman Tarot deck, so I will be reading that one from the book for you. But with this 5 of Wands, this is a very peaceful looking 5 of Wands. These people are looking to stand their ground firmly, but lovingly, rather than just beating everyone over the head with their opinion or their agenda. They are looking to compromise. They are looking to listen and hear each other, not just, hear the words, but actually feel what the other people are trying to say. Be this at work, people in your family. You're coming to a mutual agreement where maybe before you felt like people were just making decisions and running away with the show. You're having your say. Your higher self is whispering for you to stand your ground with certain people, either at work or in your personal life, so that you can have your voice heard. Because I think a lot of times you're just happy to get along, or go along to get along is kind of the vibe that I'm getting with this. But now it's time for you to, stand up for yourself, stand in your inner truth, your authority, for yourself specifically. If this is going to affect your life or your family, absolutely you should be standing up for yourself. So for the White Newman, I'm going to grab the book just 1 second. Okay, so for White Newman, I know it's at the back of this book here, cute little hardbound book we get here with this White Newman Tarot, but this is about creation, a starting point, and divine inspiration. So the God's Father runs free across the virgin earth's plains in apparent weightlessness, just like the bison in ancient cave paintings. It traverses the world, making sure that all of creation is in order. And that's what your higher self has been whispering. Maybe a starting point of a new project, or it's time to get back out on that horse is what I'm hearing as well. But it says, above him dimensions open, and the power of the sun glows between his horns. The bronze stars and bird guide him. As the morning breaks, The white Newman symbolizes creation through action, the perfect and divinely inspired path resulting from movement and momentum. Act, innovate, and make the world anew. So we're also including a bit of Fool energy, but this isn't just Fool energy. This is Fool energy coming from a place of deep wisdom, deep inner knowledge, your higher self's wisdom from past lives, from everything you've been through in this life and other lives and ever will go through. You're bringing this source of wisdom with you. So literally asking your higher self to take the reins or to come along for the ride is really going to amplify all of this beautiful receptive energy. The divine feminine energy, what we have here, but then we have the divine masculine energy also uniting. So there's that kind of union of divine feminine, divine masculine, or kind of twin flame vibe. And really, to me, at the core of the whole twin flame journey is a divine feminine and divine masculine union within yourself. So really beautiful stuff. There are some new beginnings or some new projects or just something new that wants to be birthed through you. But I think first some of you might have to stand up, and this might even be you standing up to your own ego and saying, hey, you shut the front door for just a second because I know what's up. You are trying to protect me, and I love that you are trying to do that, but I am trying to step out of this comfort zone so I can evolve and really step into my potential. And of course, I think some of your egos are saying, oh, that's too big of a project. Oh, you don't know how to do that. You're not good enough, and your ego is doing it from this place of trying to protect you. But I think you guys are just deciding enough's enough. I'm done playing small. I'm done waiting around. I'm ready to say yes. Literally, that is what you're doing here, is saying yes. Say yes. So say yes. Some of you may be saying yes, getting a proposal. But this comes after a time. I think this yes might be delayed for some of you, but others of you, this is you saying yes to the universe, ready to take action right now. But if this is involving a relationship, there might be a bit of coming to common ground that needs to happen before this yes is then spoken, if that makes sense. It doesn't have to be like a romantic relationship, like a proposal of marriage or anything like that. It can just be, should we remain friends or should we go our separate ways? I think ultimately you guys will be back together, if that makes sense. Its complicated status will be removed and you're like in a relationship, whatever that looks like to you. But you're saying yes to yourself first and foremost. Yes to your own heart, your own happiness, your own just agenda, I guess. But this is coming from a place of love rather than fear. And then we have stick with it. Yes, there is a specific or special relationship in your life that maybe you've needed a bit of a break on, or things have just been a little rough, a little rocky. But this relationship is worth taking the distance. Even if you need a break, that is totally fine. We've got the number 44 here, so you guys may be building a solid, stable new foundation. And one thing your higher self has been whispering is, keep going, keep building, keep moving forward. If that looks like leaving someone in the dust because they're not doing their work, that's just gonna be what it's gonna be. But if this person is also putting in the effort, putting in the work, doing their shadow work, doing their inner child work, trying to be a better version of themselves every single day, then of course this is someone worth sticking in your life, if that makes sense, even after a time of a break or a distance. Again, you're going to use your own best judgment. Even if they are working on themselves and you're working on yourselves and you're just not feeling it anymore, it is up to you to decide, I don't want this anymore, if that is your case. For someone, I'm seeing this as a long-term relationship, like a marriage, maybe even a parent-child relationship. I'm seeing you maybe as the child and this person as your parent, and they have been very abusive and it's just been very difficult for you. But you're seeing that they are trying to make changes, even though they've been so set in their ways before, because this is you having stood up for yourself, and they realize, okay, it's time to put up or shut up because this person is leaving my life. And I think they have realized this, or after this conversation, they will realize this and they will try to be better and do better. Okay, what other messages has Groups 1 Higher Self been whispering to them? We've got here Aquarius, so collaborate. Yes, you guys are meant to come together with others. You're not meant to go it alone and do everything alone. Of course, one of the best ways we can collaborate is with Spirit, because we are co-creating our reality with Spirit every step of the way, every single day. So it really makes sense that this card comes out, specifically because this is a message about what your higher self has been whispering to you, or those subtle messages or clues your higher self has been leaving for you. There is this element of water that's really strong between you and your guides, maybe when you're taking a shower or in a bath or swimming. Oh, that's interesting. I just remembering now I had a dream about swimming last night. Oh, that's so funny. Wow, I love when that just pops in randomly. Maybe you guys have been having a lot of dreams where there's water, or you're swimming, or there's a swimming pool, or a lake, or a flood. These are very telling dreams for you. So that's probably why Spirit showed me my dream last night, that I was racking my brain all morning, like, what did I dream? I'm trying to write my dreams and be more mindful of writing my dreams down, and I completely forgot until just now. So hopefully, mental note, when I'm editing this, I can write it down, because I'm not going to leave your reading right now to go write it down. This will serve as my reminder. But yes, maybe writing your dreams down, because your higher self is whispering and sometimes even shouting to you in your dreams. And, even if you're like me, like you couldn't remember your dream last night, I think it will come to you when it's needed. That will be stored in your subconscious mind or the Akashic records for you to access when you need. But there might even be a prominent Aquarius in your life that you're saying yes to, or saying, okay, let's try this again, let's stick with it and see how far we can go. Maybe this is someone that's a business partner or an actual partner in your life. Aquarius Sun, Moon, Rising, prominent placements. Maybe you're the Aquarius Sun, Moon, Rising, or prominent placements, or even your 11th house, which is, that community house in the chart, or that wish fulfillment house in the chart, because there is abundance coming in. So something that maybe you had collaborated with others on is coming full circle, and you are reaping the reward or abundance. Because with this Five of Wands, this is healthy collaboration here, what I'm seeing. Brainstorming, working together, teamwork, effort together, not just you going it alone, because you're not meant to do it alone. Yes, I know a lot of it feels like we're alone, but Spirit always has our back, even when we feel like we're alone. But bringing other people along for the ride is really going to benefit you guys. I'm seeing, though, one person specifically, there is some sort of business idea or project idea that even if you are working with other people, Spirit or your own higher self wants you to kind of keep this specific idea close to your chest, because there is a creative project that you're going to be doing on your own, as far as, other human people go. But Spirit, of course, is collaborating with you, or co-conspiring with you to create this beautiful project. So this is one you keep in your back pocket just for you. You don't have to share this with the group or the crowd. Okay, let's get a couple more messages. Whispers from your higher self. And this is primarily a self-care deck. I think that, taking care of ourselves is just as important as taking care of business, taking care of others. So I wanted to include some messages of self-love, self-care. So let's find out what couple messages your higher self has been whispering to you about taking better care of yourself. So we have here change course. And look, stick with it and change course are very dueling energies, right? But I think it's saying to stick with something that's long-term and is meant for you, again, using your own intuition. But you're changing the way you go about it. Instead of banging on this wall right here trying to break through, you just take a step to the side and you realize there's a door. And hey, look behind me. There's a branch with keys hanging from it. I wonder if one of those keys fits this door. And then yes, it probably does. And then you can walk through the door. So sticking with something maybe that you put on the back burner, or that hadn't been working out till now. Or some of you sticking with something that, has been a little difficult, a little challenging, but just changing the way you go about it. But it says on the back, a closed door is an invitation from life to move in an even better direction. It's time to change course. Yeah, but this bull here, Taurus vibes as well. So we got Aquarius and Taurus on the board. Any fire sign as well, I'm seeing here. So that'd be your Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And I'm getting earth vibes from this stick with it card, and fire vibes from this one. I don't know, just what's coming through. But yes, this Taurus energy, this person, this Taurus, this bull, this is not a bull in a china shop. This is a bull in its element. This is a bull charging forward, ready to go. It has everything it needs. Look at all these tools or resources or materials this bull has around it, taking it with it. Remember, it said something about the sun between its horns. The sun is that inspiration. That is your soul. That is your higher self coming in to lend its energy and its vitality to you, because you are it and it is you. All right, let's get one more. Oh, I thought that one was flipped. No, we're good. Okay, let's keep on going. One more message of self-care, or just kind of random. I mean, this wasn't quite self-care, but maybe finding a new way to take care of yourself is kind of the message with self-care there for you from your higher self. One more. Okay, and optimism. So we got a book here that's growing. So someone might be writing a book and, the characters are growing, the premise is expanding. I don't know. There's something with a book possibly for some of you, maybe even journaling these ideas to plant seeds for these to blossom and bloom in your actual material world. But it says, if you're going to make up stories in your head about people and circumstances, please make them love stories with happy endings. That's this vibe here. So we don't want to stress out and, assume things. It's better to ask and actually know the answer. Even if it feels like you're over communicating with certain people in your life, it's better to know for sure where you stand or what's actually going on behind the scenes. Even if they're not 100% forthcoming with their energy, usually you can read body language if you're with them in person. Oh no, my deck fell onto the floor. So that's kind of a mic drop moment. So maybe that's something we really need to pay attention to, what I just said. And really reading someone's body language, because they may be telling you one thing, but their body language or actions is telling you something completely different. But also at the same time, don't just assume this person is out to get you or wanting to hurt you in any way, because I see this person is dealing with a lot of their own pain, a lot of their heart chakra issues where they are healing possibly even childhood wounds and trying to overcome these challenges so that they can be a better friend or lover or parent to you now and moving forward. So yes, happy endings. That is what we are focusing on. Of course, not to spiritually bypass or love and light all of our issues and problems away. If things are not working out, using your own discretion and your own intuition to make the best choices for you. That is what your higher self wants you to do. So those were the whispers from your higher self. I hope this message resonated for you, group 1. And please feel free to let me know any stories you want to share in the comments below. I always love to hear from you guys. And once again, thanks so much for all those likes, comments, shares, subscribes, and all the things. And I really, truly do hope to see you, group 1, right here back at the Dunn Creative. Also over my live stream channel and my Patreon. And if you are interested in booking a personal reading with me, you can always email me at amanda@dunnphotodesign.com. Links for all of that can be found in the description below. Alright, group 1, I love you. Bye! Alright, group number 2, or those of you who selected this lapis lazuli, this is going to be your message, whispers from your higher self. Those more subtle messages that maybe you're not picking up the signs or hearing in your, or seeing in your mind's eye, hearing in your mind's ear, all of the things. So let's find out. And some of these you may have already had intuition on, so just trust your own intuition. But you have the Rose Garden card. Innocence, forgiveness, and be gentle with yourself. So some of you may have been beating yourself up a little bit lately, or... Oh, and we have a bubbling candle here, so very interesting. So it's like things from below the surface might be bubbling up for you, and we have all this water here. I think water, and we got waterfalls, so it's like those emotions are flowing. So the water isn't just stagnant, it's rippling, it's flowing, it's babbling. This water is speaking, and those emotions are ready to speak to you. So this innocence, this might be inner child stuff within yourself that is coming up, inner child wounds, traumas, guilt, resentment, anything from the past that you have maybe buried or thought you had dealt with, but there it is coming up yet again. But this might involve forgiving yourself or forgiving others, but for the sake of this reading, I'm really seeing this as you forgiving yourself, because you are being gentle with yourself, forgiving yourself for past mistakes or not knowing better. But then when you did know better, you did do better. So give yourself a pat on the back or that grace that once something came to your awareness that maybe you weren't being the best version of yourself, and someone might have pointed that out, or you pointed it out to yourself, or you just recognized it with that self-awareness that you have, and you realize, man, I've not been a very nice person, or I've been yelling a lot, or I've been beating myself up, or I've been caught in these negative cycles or loops, or falling back on bad habits. But just you recognizing these patterns or these things that are being highlighted for you, your higher self wants you to know, great job, because a lot of times that first step is having that self-awareness that something's not right, or that you're not showing up as your most true or authentic version, or just, again, not being very gentle with yourself. So your higher self has been whispering to you to be kinder to yourself, to be more gentle to yourself, not to run yourself so ragged or stressed out, and just take a break. Maybe taking a vacation, maybe just taking a day off, clearing your mind, clearing out the clutter from your home. Taking better care of yourself is then going to be able for you to be able to take better care of other people in your life, especially my mothers out there, or people who are feeling like you're in a position where you're taking care or responsible for pets or children or people. Maybe you're in a leadership role at work. being kinder to yourself, you'll be able to then be kinder to others and have more energy to give others as well. All right, let's go ahead and get some additional guidance from the tarot. Whispers from your higher self. What has your higher self been whispering to you? And this is upside down, so we've got the Seven of Cups and the Six of Wands. I like to see this combination. So especially those of you who felt a little bit unsure or confused about your next steps, or about just your healing in general, because this is such a healing energy. And once again, we've got the water, the fish are circling this cup. It's almost like musical chairs, but it's like there's only one chair or one cup here, and all these fish are circling it. Like when the music stops, I'm going to claim that as my own. So there might have been this fear that if you didn't act now, you were going to miss out on something, because I'm getting like a FOMO vibe from the depiction here. So fear of missing out, or FOMO, you may have heard about it. But this, to me, feels like forgiving yourself for maybe ways that you were cutthroat to get what you thought was yours, and, damn everybody else kind of vibe. It's okay. That's a human way of acting, but when we realize, okay, I probably shouldn't do that all the time, or man, I really feel bad for the way I treated this person, or maybe this happened to you. Maybe you're not even the one doing this, and you're now having to be faced to forgive someone else for kind of hip checking you out of the way to grab what you thought was yours. There is this element of unfairness here, but with the Six of Wands also coming in, your higher self is whispering that you will be victorious. Whatever it is, whether you were the one that did this to someone else, or someone else did this to you, or it's just kind of life in general feels unfair to you, believe me, very soon you're going to feel this victory or this success that maybe had been eluding you. Those of you with public platforms, this could deal with also public recognition. Maybe you put in a lot of effort and work and just no one was seeing your posts, no one was seeing your content, and it was very frustrating for you. Thinking, I have these things I want to share, this art. I'm seeing specifically someone with an art channel, and you're like, man, I know the quality of my work is there. I know it's there, but just no one is seeing this. How can I even get my name out or my word out? There's so many different, marketing options, because the Seven of Cups is a card of options. But your higher self is whispering the way. They're whispering the way through the woods. There might be this special or secret trail no one else knows about. And this isn't you cutting corners or anything like that. No, this is just flowing with the directions that are available to you, because it's almost like you're at a intersection that you've got like 7 different ways you can go. It's not just straight or right or left. It's right, and then this one, and then this one, and then straight, and then this one, and this one, and then left. Like there's so many ways you could go from where you're currently standing that you may be confused as to what are my next steps. So literally right now in this moment, if you want to pause it and just ask your higher self, what is my next step? And also, I do have my most recent pick a card that went up on Monday before this one. Of course, if you're watching this later down the line, you can search my videos for next step or what is your next step. Pick a card to maybe get some clarity on what your next step is, those of you who are still confused. But your higher self, I think, is going to be making it a little more clear. They may be talking to you with numbers. They've been sending me the number 43 a lot, which I think I also mentioned in that next step pick a card that I posted today, at least at the time of my filming. Actually, it might have been 2 videos back by now. Yeah, because I think I have a message you need to hear, and then this one will go up. Yeah, because I'm actually ahead of the game for once. A couple weeks ahead of the game with my film schedule. Well, a week. But yes, this is victory. This is maybe you feeling ahead of the curve so much that you feel alone, but then you look back and you see other people are like, okay, I'm not alone. I'm still on track. Okay, I confused myself for a second there, but I'm here. I'm doing it. Here we go. Okay, so what else has your higher self been whispering? Group 2. Ooh, these 2. The top 2 of these ones definitely want to come out, so there we go. And we have your clean up your mess. What were we saying earlier about just cleaning up that mental clutter and also your physical space as well, with the whole be gentle with yourself message. But we also have the number 37, which adds up to 10, which adds up to 1, new beginning vibes. So cleaning up your mess can then bring in new opportunities, because this is you closing out those old cycles, or getting rid of things that are no longer serving you to actually make room in your life for stuff that will serve you, or those new opportunities. Because yes, I love this coming out next to 7 of Cups, clear the fog. Because a lot of times when we can't see that next step, it's very scary to just, go out into the fog and just come what may. But we have the number 13 here, which adds up to 4, which is about creating a stable new beginning or a foundation for which to build your project, your life, your dreams upon. But the fog is clearing, After a bit of rest and forgiveness and inner child healing, and also just being gentle with yourself and literally being that parent to your own inner child is really what I see. And we got some dogs here as well. So these are very loyal companions, our dogs, but your higher self's like, I'm not a dog, but I am a very loyal companion to you. Some of you may even be born in the Chinese zodiac year of the dog, quite possibly, or you have someone who is a loyal friend to you that was born year of the dog. I'm personally a year of the dog. My 1982, 1982 babies. Here we are, year of the dog. And then, of course, 12 years before that, 12 years after that, and keep going math-wise, or you can probably just Google what people are born, what years are year of the dog, to see if anyone in your life fits that bill. That's just highlighted for me for some reason, so I mentioned it. But yes, these are subtle whispers from your higher self. So, of course, you can, if you really strain your eyes, you can see through the fog. So you can really hear these whispers or see what your higher self is trying to convey to you if you really tune in and get in your heart space. Connect with your breath. That will really help clear this fog out so that you know what your next steps are and what the next direction is for you. All right. What other things has your higher self been whispering? I didn't even get the question out, but Spirit knows. So we've got conjunction, alliance, and once again, yes, your higher self is saying, I am that loyal companion. We are forming this beautiful alliance. And we have, again, the number 51. Well, not again, but like similar vibe to what we have here with the number 6. That is that nurturing energy, that moderation, that more balanced approach to life. It is about forgiveness. It's about love. It's about, camaraderie and really connecting with those you love on a deeper level. So some of you, your higher self has been whispering to get a little more uncomfortable with your comfort zone as far as sharing and opening up with those you love. Yes, it's easy a lot of times to just say, oh, I'm fine when someone asks, but to actually say, I've actually been struggling with this one thing. Of course, fielding this with your intuition and seeing, is this person worth my trust for me to show this more vulnerable side of myself? If you don't feel like sharing, this doesn't have to look like you going on Facebook and shouting out all of your most deepest emotions or anything like that, but finding a trusted friend or companion, or even your pet, maybe talking to your pet and saying, hey, I'm sad today, I love you, all the things. But this conjunction energy is at the very root, letting you know you're not alone. Remember, even if you feel like you're miles ahead or miles behind everyone else, the crowd may not be right with you, but Spirit is. Spirit is with you. And we've got the number, I said 51. So the number 51, the number 13, the number 37, and then the added up version of 1, 4, and 6. Those numbers may be relevant, or, Spirit, your higher self, might be showing you these numbers. Okay, so let's get a couple self-care messages for group 2, whispers from your higher self. Ooh, we got a choice, which, yes, 7 of Cups vibes. Look at this. Clearing the fog to, this message of hope here and options. But this says here, worry less about making the right choice and more about being strong enough to handle any outcome. And that's, I think, what you are really focusing yourself with this innocence, forgiveness, and being gentle with yourself with this Rose Garden card here. But you will, even if you don't feel you made, quote unquote, the right choice, it was the right choice for you in that moment. Even if later you make a different choice and you now I feel like I'm backtracked or I'm on my own. No, you're making the proper choice at the proper time. You are never on the wrong path. That is one thing your higher self wants you to know. Even if you feel miles behind where you thought you should have been, you have learned so many lessons going on these detours, as you may think of them as detours. But no, these were actually really needed stops along your way to learn very valuable lessons. And it is time to forgive yourself, especially if you felt like you didn't do it right or you took too long to do something. Victory will be yours. So do not beat yourself up anymore about not being enough or good enough or on enough or far enough, whatever it is. And then we have time. Time spent worrying is time spent. And we have the word worry. Worry less about making the right choice, and then time spent worrying is time spent. So there may have been a very, 9 of Swords and 8 of Swords energy of feeling stuck, feeling worried, feeling stressed out, anxious, which, a lot of times we can't control, and we shouldn't control how we feel, but we should allow ourselves to feel them without latching on and hooking on and going on the downward spiral. Sometimes that downward spiral is actually needed so we can go deeper in to dig up. Remember, this is surfacing, this water, those bubbles bubbling up. We're surfacing things that maybe time had buried. Maybe the grains of time from your childhood are buried way below the surface here of these other grains. But instead of worrying about, I had a messed up childhood, so I could never be what I want to be, I can never be victorious, you can though. And these things, these lessons, these traumas, these wounds from your past actually did put you on the path that you're on, so you could maybe have a platform eventually to speak out against these things or to show how you've overcome these things. Everything that has happened, good, bad, happy, sad, negative, positive, everything in between has been for your highest growth. Your higher self has been whispering this to you your whole life, but a lot of times it gets lost in the shuffle, lost in translation, lost in the fog. But as you clean up your mess, as you heal, as you uncover, as you unbury these wounds from the past, you are learning and growing and evolving and learning. Once you know better, you do better. All right, group 2, that has been the messages your higher self has been whispering to you, my wonderful group 2. I hope this resonated. Please feel free to let me know below any stories you want to share, any thoughts. Did this resonate? Did it not? Did that rhyme? Kinda, not really. But yes, thanks again, you guys, so much for all your likes, comments, shares, subscribes, and all the things. And I really, truly do hope to see you, group 2, yes, you, right here back at the Dunn Creative, also over my live stream channel, my Patreon, and if you're interested in booking a personal reading with me, you can always email me at amanda@dunnphotodesign.com. Links for all of that can be found in the description below. And I just wanted to say thanks again, you guys. All right, love you. Bye. All right, group 3, or those of you who selected the optical calcite, this is going to be your message, whispers from your higher self. And actually, before we get into it, I did want to say optical calcite, when you look through it, I don't know if we can get this focus, if it can even show, but it kind of blurs the lines. It kind of doubles the words here, doubles the effect. So it's almost like the mirror image that we do have here on this card, where she's kind of split down the middle and then it's mirrored on both sides. So again, like a union of divine feminine and divine masculine, we kind of had this theme going on in group 1 as well. But this is all about healing the mother line, healing ancestral work, mother line, and growing up. So kind of a theme with all 3 piles in a way has been this inner child healing or clearing out trauma from the past, healing the wounds from the past. But specifically for you, group 3, this is on your mother's ancestral line, your relationship with you and your mother, cousins and aunts and uncles and third cousins and 20th cousins and great grandparents, everyone on that mother line. And they're also showing me, this is very interesting, you actually were one of your ancestors on your mother's lineage. Specifically your mother's side of the family, but that also might resonate as your mother's father's line for probably a handful of you as well. But it's like the mothers, even mothers. Let's take it 3 mothers back. Your mother's mother. So your great-grandmother on your mother's side's family line, either her paternal line or maternal line, is healing. But I'm seeing a lot of spiritual gifts came in through this mother line for you. Your mother may be intuitive, grandmother, great-grandmother, down the line. But you may not know that about these people because maybe they don't show it. I see for some of you like, yeah, I know that for sure. But others of you might be like, what? Are you serious? There's no way. There's no way with the way this person acts that they are intuitive or have any kind of spiritual connection or gifts, but they do. And you do as well. Even if you're still discovering them, they are coming through as you do this healing work, as you go back to your childhood, your teenage years, your early years, however old you are. Some of you actually are teenagers that watch this, but others of you are in your 70s or 80s quite possibly. So going back as far as you need to go to heal, to look at maybe even your mother's childhood or your grandmother's childhood and really give her some grace to see, wow, she really didn't have the easiest upbringing, and I can see now why she carried these traumas or wounds into my childhood, and giving some grace. And that, just having that empathy for where these people that came before you came from and what they went through and what they experienced can really open up a huge amount of healing even just in your life, and just sending them love and compassion and empathy for what they had been through. And even if they weren't treating you the best or maybe even to this day, you don't have the best relationship with some of these people. Just, understanding where they came from or what happened to them, even if you don't know. But the way that their actions may, hurt people is kind of what I'm hearing. So some of you may have some major qualms with certain people in this family line, and just remembering that hurt people. Even if you don't know what they went through, what they experienced, how they became who they were, just know that hurt people. Just knowing that is enough to send them that grace, that love, that compassion, and that can help start their healing process. Or if they've already passed on, that can close out some, wounds from the past so that they can move even quicker in the direction of their healing, and you as well. Okay, so let's see what else. We're going to go to the tarot first. What else has your higher self been whispering to you, group 3? Messages your higher self has been whispering. This one wants to come out, and this one. So we have, the 3 of Cups and the 6 of Pentacles. So some of you may have, either in recent couple of years, I'm seeing maybe 2020, 2021, maybe 2022 at the, year I'm filming this, or at the time of your watching this, if you're watching this years down in the future, maybe the past 2 years, or maybe even over the next 2 years, there's going to be maybe some sort of coming together of extended family or some sort of family reunion where you really start to vibe and do some healing work on this mother line. So specifically on the mother's side of the family, like family reunion, family get together. Maybe some of you do this quite often, so you're like, it could be any time we've gotten together, whatever resonates for you. But there is this sense of celebrating the positives of this family line, or just your, divine feminine. This could even look like, soul family members, not actual mother's line family. A celebration or get-togethers with soul family, soul sister, soul brother kind of energy. Again, though, I'm picking up a very feminine, so divine feminine celebration and happiness and receptivity and just listening to each other kind of energy. So if you haven't had a lot of that in your life, it's coming in for you. And that's something your higher self has been whispering, that even if you've had some disagreements with people, no relationship is perfect. They all take work. And, sometimes one friend gets busy, or one partner gets busy, or one parent gets busy, and it doesn't mean that the relationship's over because they have gone off on their merry way to do something. I mean, usually they'll always touch back home to you, or you're touching back home to them if you've been the one that's kind of been distant or going off. There is this coming back together, though, between you and someone that there may have been some physical distance, or maybe even emotional, spiritual, mental distance. It's going to resonate differently for each of you. But there is a balancing back out of these energies for you. We've got the progression from 3 to 6. So the 3, the 6, the 9. Nikola Tesla always talks about those very special numbers. If you want to understand the universe, learn about those numbers. But yes, this is a balancing act. And this is also your own higher self coming in to help balance things out. Especially those of you who have been in the thick of healing or a dark night of the soul, your higher self has been whispering to you ways or opportunities for you to take advantage of all this good healing and good karma that's coming in for you. Even if you haven't felt like that's been the case, it's coming for some of you very soon. I'm seeing over the next 6 weeks, and not just because we have the 6 of Pentacles here, like Spirit spelled out like 6 weeks in my mind's eye. So I'm seeing that very clearly for you guys. Okay. What other messages has your higher self been whispering to you, group 3? All right, we got this one. And this one. Okay, so we have here, fill the well. Yes, and that's exactly what this card is. It's like they're literally in water as well. But this to me feels like you filling up your own cup. It's a very, we really got this vibe in group 2. But filling your own cup to then help others, pouring from that overflow rather than pouring out of your, partially full or partially empty, however you want to look at it, cup. And giving from your overflow so you're not depleting yourself to give to others. But we also have the number 25 here, which adds up to 7. So some of you are filling your well by, having that introspective time or that hermit energy, alone time. Learning about yourself, learning about your own chart, your own personality, so that you can understand why you are who you are. Maybe even doing some ancestry, research, because 7 is also a number of research and, digging deep to find out answers from the past is really what I'm seeing here. So some of you might be or have recently or will soon be doing some ancestry research. And we also have turn on the light. So yeah, some of you might have been feeling, again, like you've been fumbling around in the dark. But we've got a number 5 here, which indicates change, new beginning. And to me, this is like a honeymoon or a recent wedding or a recent union that has taken place. And again, with this 3 of Cups, which is about celebration, some of you might be, or have recently, or soon will, be getting married or attending some sort of celebration, graduation, birth of a child in the family, or with you, the family, friends. I mean, celebration and coming together as one big group of people, or maybe even a small group of people coming together as one, or for one specific purpose, coming for you. But your higher self is letting you know they are helping to turn more of your light on, or bring more of your light on. As you dig up this stuff from the past, these emotions from the past, and heal them. You lighten your load to raise that vibration enough that more of your light can then come in and fill in the gaps where all that heavy density and trauma was taking up space and resonance. So this is actually a really good indication that things are looking up for you. You're filling the well. It's funny because like filling the well a lot of times can emotionally take away the heavier or more burdensome aspects, to actually bring more, space around your dreams, your goals, your wishes, your desires, just your soul mission, bringing more space and bringing more light into the equation. And then we have vision, and it's very interesting, my friends, that you selected the optical calcite, and I felt the need to mention that at the beginning, and it kind of blurs that vision if you look through it. Let's really get up here and get focused on this. Hopefully we can see it. Hopefully is a key word here. I don't know. If you can even see through that, maybe I can zoom in a bit to see, but it kind of blurs or doubles everything up. But if you hold it at different angles, it's almost like you can get a clear picture of it. Or maybe if you hold it, closer to your eye, I don't know. But there's a message of just kind of, looking at things from different angles, trying it different ways, finding different ways to go about seeing things a new way. It's kind of hangman energy, mixed with someone like sitting there doing a puzzle or trying to figure out something. Like a Rubik's Cube kind of thing, turning and twisting. And we even kind of have the colors of the Rubik's Cube going on back here, but I'm seeing this as like shards of ice. So this is like freezing emotions. Water is that emotion we were talking about earlier, and we got all this water here, and filling the well. And then there's no water here. It's like these are kind of more dry areas. So this is, maybe some of those frozen emotions that you couldn't quite get to, or they were too cold or too buried beneath the surface, are now coming to the surface. And maybe at first they kind of appear as double vision or as a huge burden or a huge weight. But remember, spirit, your own higher self, is coming in to help balance this weight so that you can release these emotions or feel them, to heal them, to deal with them, to move on, so that you don't have to carry this. But this is also a sharpening of your beautiful clairvoyance. So your higher self has been dropping little subtle, because like this, it's not very clear really what's going on, at least from where you see. Like this is more clear because there's more contrast and more color involved, but this is more muted, kind of more dull. So this is more the whisper of your higher self, and this is more like we're yelling. Like here's the bright vivid colors you would see if we're yelling to you. So it's almost like you're shifting from just very quiet whispers of, this internal sight or vision, third eye activation, to a more clear and concise picture that spirit is sending you. That these whispers are going to sound more like, speaking at, inside voice. Not so much yelling, but like indoor voice, inside voice. I always tell my youngest son, indoor voice. So yeah, you're going to actually hear it, so you don't have to strain to hear these things or strain your vision to see through what spirit is trying to convey. Okay, big apologies to you guys. I just realized as this reading was wrapping up that my battery camera died as I was going to shuffle out your self-care messages, so you can see the progression of your reading, but you won't see my wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man like hand gestures, which maybe some of you are happy about that, others might be like, oh man. But here we go, let's just finish this out. What else? And this is more of a self-care deck, but there's other messages in here as well. But what else has Group 3's higher self been whispering? Okay, and I know we got that one in Group 2. So you guys, it's very interesting because they had something about vision as well. can't remember exactly what their card was, but I think it was group 2. Ooh, you get 3. 3 came out, so that's what we're playing with today. But we had here time. So time spent worrying is time spent. So yeah, instead of worrying about things, taking this proactive approach, because that time is going to pass anyway, is what your higher self has been trying to whisper to you. So take the time to heal, because that time's going to pass anyway, and you're still going to have to heal later on. If not in this life, then another life. So you might as well take the time you need, stop worrying, and just dive into the task at hand, whatever it may be for you, and get it done or get it figured, and then move through it. Then we have the body card here. So it says your body deserves your love. So yeah, and this might even have to deal with like, first and foremost, when we think of body, we can usually think of appearance, genetics, maybe weight, something that you inherited from your mother's side that affects your body or your looks in some way. I'm seeing this as diabetes for someone. Maybe you inherited, and I know diabetes is more of a lifestyle disease than just inherited, but you may have a genetic predisposition to getting certain things if you live not as healthy of a lifestyle, if that makes sense. So there might be, even cancer, like coming in through the mother's line specifically, but it doesn't just have to be the mother's line if the father's line also resonates for you. But this is taking care of your body, because like they had mentioned about the diabetes, this is something that lifestyle can completely help you avoid. Even though you may be, have that genetic predisposition to getting diabetes, but if you live an active and very healthy lifestyle, you can completely avoid that, trajectory is really what they're showing. But then we've got the pamper card. I love to see this one. Self-care is a necessity, not a luxury. And I think that is one of the clearest message some of you needed to see or hear today, is the fact that you pampering yourself, you taking a day off, you just doing nothing, even if that looks like, I can't help my friend move because I desperately need to stay home and take care of myself. That is not selfish. It is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Of course, you could be someone who's like, okay, I'll help my friend for a little while and then I'll go home and take care of myself. Whatever it feels like to you. But pampering yourself, you should not have to make excuses to take care of yourself. Specifically with mothers and that mother line. Maybe your mother never took a day off or took care of herself. Maybe your grandmother, great-grandmother, down the line. Or they may have come to you at times and like, oh, it's selfish to get your hair done when, you got these other things to do. It's like, well, I have more than enough time and money to do both. So why do I have to settle? And standing up for what you know is right for you. But others of you maybe have taken on this burden of, putting everyone else before yourselves. Because I'm seeing a lot of the mothers, like your mothers, your parents' mothers, your great-grandmothers, grandmothers, all the down the line. I'm just stumbling over my words because I'm just so many people, spiritually, spirits who passed on, ancestors lining up like, yep, I put others before myself. Yep, I put others before myself. And you're the one helping break this generational curse of, self-sacrificing yourself to appease others or please others or keep the peace or the balance. This is you taking care of yourself first and foremost, and then giving from that overflow rather than pouring from your almost empty cup, like a lot of mothers do. And of course, we're not so much specifically talking about mothers of young children and babies, because that's a whole other season of life. But some mothers can get so wrapped up in that, and I know I did for a while, so I'm not trying to call anyone out, but some mothers can get so wrapped up in taking care of their child's every need that as their children start growing up, they're still trying to take on the burden of, picking up every single sock they leave, laying in the living room. Yes, I'm calling out Wrigley, my youngest son. There comes a time where the mother's like, okay, you guys need to start taking care of your own needs. Like my older son, he's showering and taking care of his own personal hygiene. And sometimes I have to remind him or, get on him to wear that deodorant or brush his teeth or whatever. But for the most part, he's independent and he's figuring it out. And as mothers, sometimes that, your children growing up before your eyes sometimes can be very, bittersweet. It's cool that they are getting independent and they're really developing their personalities. But at the same time, it's like, well, soon they're not going to need me anymore. But they still do need you in different ways. Emotionally, spiritually, mentally, they would love that connection. But maybe they don't need you as much physically as they did when they were children. I think that message is for maybe a handful of you. Maybe there's, you have a child that's graduating this year. You're going to be an empty nester. Or, your baby's starting kindergarten this year. Something like this. There's this natural milestone. And, you know, there was that celebration we were kind of tuning into earlier with this. Yeah, and maybe the wedding or the graduation or the birth of a child. Maybe, again, for some of you, this could be the birth of a child that now you're going to have to balance out pampering yourself and, of course, tending to this baby's every need. It's going to be different for each of you, but I think for the most part, this is you guys growing to that next evolution. Some of you, of course, becoming a mother for the first time. I'm seeing that maybe for one person. Yeah, and others, empty nesters. I'm really picking up an older vibe, you know, 40s on, of empty nesters here as well. So, or maybe you've been empty nesters for a long time and you're still kind of struggling to see, you know, as that mother role that you had, you know, for your young children at one point. You know, your children are grown, maybe they have their own children, and now you're still trying to find your place in their life or in their world, or, you know, fit them in your world in a way, and you're still working your way through that. But listen to your higher self. Ask your higher self for guidance on how to do that. All right, group 3, I think that's all I'm seeing for you. And feel free, of course, always, to let me know below any comments, any stories you want to share. I always love to hear from you guys. And thanks again so much for all those likes, those comments, those shares, those subscribes. I really, truly do appreciate every single one of them. And also, feel free to check out my live stream channel and my Patreon. And if you're interested in booking a personal reading with me, Group 3, you can always email me at amanda@dunnphotodesign.com. Links for all of that can be found in the description below. And I just wanted to say I love you and have a very blessed day. Bye, Group 3!